coming back to school with me. We could have done it all so easily.
Hi, my name is Craig Thompson-Wood. I'm your host with Teaching with Board Games. Here today to talk to you about a company called Math for Love. A little while back I did a focus on a publisher called Genius Games, which they do an amazing amount of work with books and different things, games and gamification for scientific learning. Well, today I want to look at another publisher, and I think this is something I'd like to do more often, is doing this publisher focus, and I'm going to be focusing today on Math for Love. So Math for Love was founded by Dan Finkel and Catherine Cook, husband and wife team, who thought that they wanted to do something more to teach about mathematics and the way that mathematics is being taught and the different ways in which math can be understood. I mean, we are taught math in schools often in one way. There's one right way to do things, whereas in math there's actually a lot of different ways to do this. And this is what Math for Love is doing, is they're focusing on teaching mathematics and making understandings and concepts and building these understandings and recognizing patterns and all kinds of things through the development of play, through their games, through their puzzles, through their blogs, and not only for the kids who are playing the games, but they do a lot of work too with the teachers and helping the teachers to understand how they might approach things differently from a pedagogical standpoint. So this is a big thing about what Math for Love does, is they said that they want to be doing things like training teachers, to be developing professional resources and things for teachers to be using in the classroom, to be producing puzzles to keep people's minds active in a fun way, utilizing puzzles that have a math base to them to help to people understand how they might understand these math concepts and how math concepts can come into the solving of these puzzles. Now, one thing I'm going to do too is I'll put a link down below for the TED Talk that Dan Finkel had done, which talked about, again, this sort of concept of numeracy and understanding of math, and sort of gives a little preview into his Prime Climb game, which I'll be talking about shortly. They also have a whole series of blogs in which they talk about different concepts of mathematics and just talk. There's a lot of discussion and things that go on with this, and you can follow them on Twitter, you can follow them on their webpage, and I'll be putting a link to their webpage down below. But there's just a lot of great content on there, particularly if you're a math teacher or want to be doing more to improve your mathematics as a teacher. This is definitely one website I'd be checking out. Before I get into the games and gamification that Math for Love is involved with, let me just talk a little bit more about some of the other things that they're doing as well. They do have a lot of free lessons available, and this is lessons available for all the way from pre-kindergarten all the way up to grade 10, and lessons that you can look on there to help you to incorporate into your math classroom to teach different math concepts and ideas. And they do it in a way that is not your sort of standard way of teaching. I mean, this isn't the kind of thing you would be finding in a math textbook. They're taking these ideas and they're expanding upon your understanding. They're helping to develop understanding through different ways. And I can't do it justice to try and explain it to you here now, but this is definitely something, again, if you're looking to improve your mathematical teaching, would be something I would be recommending that you look into. They also have a whole curriculum set up for the pre-Ks to the grade 10s. Now, this is going to cost you, for whichever grades that you're buying, it's I think roughly about $25 for each grade. But within that, there is a whole lot of things that can be used to help to, again, teach these concepts in different ways, and it lays out the lessons for you and develops it, and how each subject is going to, and how each concept is going to grow onto the next concept, and from one grade to the next. It's just a lot of excellent material in here. And when I was looking through it again, just reviewing my memory of what was in there for this video I'm doing today, there is a lot on there that could definitely be done in an online way as well. So if you are an online teacher in the distance learning model, then this is something, again, I would highly recommend looking into, because there's a lot of great things you could be doing with the kids and playing these kinds of games and doing these kinds of things online with them. Now, some things are requiring manipulatives, so maybe manipulatives they might have at home. If not, then maybe that would be a lesson you might be skipping, but a lot of the stuff is available to be where you can work with them in an online way. So please do check that one out as well. And maybe if you have a budget for your grade level, or maybe you could talk to your school about purchasing some of these curriculums for the school, because as I say, they are really excellent. But now let me just dive right into the main part of what I'm here for, what I'm all about. I'm all about the games, the gamification. So what I want to talk now is about the great games that Math for Love has. Now, Math for Love only has 2 games currently out right now. They've chosen to, as I say, devote a lot of their time and attention into the whole thing that they're doing. I mean, there's a lot more that they could be doing and that they are doing through the teaching of teachers, and helping them to understand these math concepts and different ways of teaching it. But then they also have these excellent games which are focused for 2 different levels. So you have Prime Climb, which is for your juniors and above, and then Tiny Polka Dot, which is for the primary age. So Prime Climb, I've already done on my channel before. I'm not going to spoil the thing. Dan Finkel talks about this in his TED Talk, but a magnificent game about racing to the center of the board, where you're utilizing 2 decahedrons, 10-sided dice, to add, subtract, multiply, divide the numbers where you're at with the numbers you're rolling on the dice in order to move forward or backwards if it suits you, landing on prime numbers or bonuses. And there's a whole beautiful thing that goes on with the different colors on the board, which, like I said, I'm not going to spoil for you. I'll let you discover that one for yourself. Used in our school, and I know there was teachers doing this one as a recess activity last year when things were normal and there was no COVID. We were having recess activities with Prime Climb, so students getting some of this math support through the play of a game because the teachers were recognizing the value of it. Also for our school, we'd purchased 1 copy of Tiny Polka Dot for every one of the primary grades, every classroom, because again, we recognize the value of this game for its what it can do for young kids and their understanding of mathematics. I mean, the Tiny Polka Dot is amazing because it's a 5 centimeter by 5 centimeter, 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter by 5 centimeter deep box. It's a tiny box, but inside there, they have 16 different games. And that's just the ones that they publish. There's a lot more that I'm sure you could think of, and sometimes kids just like to play with the card because there's all these beautiful thick cards with different configurations of numbers. And with Tiny Polka Dot, I would encourage you to go watch the video I did about that one earlier if this interests you at all, because I made a whole spreadsheet about the 16 different games that were mentioned in the box. And within that, what I did is I talked about all the skills that were being taught by those games, between like number conservation, subitization, adding, subtracting, counting, all these kinds of things. And it was amazing how many skills were being taught in this tiny little game. And so definitely something to look into. But overall, as I said, if you are looking for ideas for your math curriculum, if you're looking for new ways to teach mathematical concepts, if you're looking to help your students develop a deeper, richer understanding, as well as you as a teacher to help them to lead, what kinds of questions and what kinds of things you should be doing to lead them to that deeper, richer understanding, this is definitely the website to be looking at. Math for Love, they're focusing on math. That's their whole thing, and they do it really well. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. If you have any questions about Math for Love, or if you have any ideas for other designers or publishers you might like me to take a look at, please leave me that message in the comment section below. So if you're new to this channel, I'm doing these videos on a weekly basis, and so please hit subscribe down below so that you can be notified of the next time I'm putting up my next video. But I'm talking about gamification, game-based learning, and how we can, as teachers, use games in the classroom, or as parents, we use them to help teach our children. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today. Until next time, I'm Craig Thompson Wood, your host with Teaching with Board Games, saying thanks for coming to the classroom.
Are you coming back to school with